Hi everyone, Chris here with a robot vacuum from Dreame. It's called the D9, and this particular model here, it really does suck. 3000 PA is the maximum, which is not a lot compared to normal vacuum cleaners or some of the coolest ones, but for these robot vacuums, that's actually quite powerful. A lot of them only 1500 or just over 2000 PA, and this having 3000 is quite good for carpets. So this model has a very competitive price with the features it offers. So it has 360-degree LiDAR mapping, it has that 3000 PA, as I mentioned, of suction performance and power, 5200 milliamp hour battery, up to around about 2.5 hours of continual cleaning or 250 squared meters, and a fully featured application as well. And as you see in this review, this so far I think is the robot vacuum for the price to beat that also offers mopping as well. First up, I will do the unboxing part here, so I'll show you how it comes exactly packaged up. So right here we have a user manual in various different languages, quick start guide, and then just underneath that top cover there, you will find in a plastic wrap the D9 here. So just put that aside, I'll cover that in detail shortly. And what else do we have? So here is our power cord. Everything's in separate little boxes here, well packaged up, so it shouldn't have any damage in transit. So you'll find the power cord right here. That one is the EU style, of course. This is an EU model that I have. We have our charging dock. It's just in here too as well. A little bit difficult to get out. There we go. That's also in white. Now, charging time is approximately about 6 hours with this particular vacuum here. You can see the power entrance there is on the right-hand side. That's using an IR transmitter. The pogo port connecting pins there too. And in the last little box here, and is where we will find the mop and our side brushes. So just pull one of them out here. So one side brush that it actually has, it's 3 of them there that it has. And here is the mop. Okay, rather basic, but it still seems to be actually a little bit larger than the likes of the S5 Max I have from Roborock. Looking at the underside now, so we have a 360-degree wheel. You can pull this out to clean it. We have the 2 charging connectors right there. 6 downwards firing sensors. This is to detect any drops. So it'll find and go to the edge of the stairs, for example. It pings that and then it knows that distance. It also detects the carpet to increase the suction power. So maximum power output on this, as mentioned at the start, is 3000 PA, which is the most powerful I've reviewed yet in the channel. Now this brush just clips on, no screws, the side single brush it has right here. We have the 2 motors and the wheels right here suspended, so it has suspension to adjust to the different heights, of course. And with our mop, you can see you've got 2 contacts right here. That is for the tiny little pump that it has in here. So you just put water in this. Now the capacity is 270 milliliters, and it simply just then slots and clips in to the side right here. You'll hear it click into place. Now these you do have to remove, okay? That's just for transit, that's on the side. And this is our main brush, of course. So it's a combination of bristles and rubber brush there too. It is also suspended, so it moves up and down to the different surface levels when, for example, going up a mat. Now the wheels can climb up 2 millimeters in height, and maintenance, you simply just pull on those 2 tabs there, lift that out, and you can clean there. And this brush looks very, very familiar to me. It's almost identical to the ones I've seen in the Roborock S5 and the S50. Here we have the LiDAR navigation. So this is the mapping laser. So it's spinning around there, measuring the distances and everything that's around. And it does work really well, combined with the other front-facing and side sensors it does have. So for the buttons right here, we have a spot clean, power on, home to charge button. So if you need to stop it, you simply press the power button. You can just start to clean without using the application, which I will show you shortly. So like the others, lifting up right here, that gives us access to the dustbin. Now this one is 570 milliliters, the capacity. We have our little tool right here. There is a little reset button and a status LED for the wireless. Removing the dustbin, very simple. Just simply press this little tab in there and it comes out. Now I will show you the filter. These are washable filters. Now just in the inside of this filter, to point out, we do have a mesh here. This is very good. This stops fine bits of dust from getting right into the little slats there of the filter, which it happens with my Roborock S5 Max, and it's a bit of a pain to clean it out. And this means that when you empty the trash bin, it's not going to be all jammed and stuck in there. There's this nice rubber gasket that goes all around the outside as well, giving a good seal to stop any fine particles from escaping. Along the back here of the vacuum, this is the exit vent, so when it sucks up, that is where the clean filtered air is blown out the back. Up the front here, we do have a front-facing sensor, so this is detecting objects ahead of it. It also does have the bump sensor, so when it bangs into something, this presses in, it detects that. And this is also for when it charges too, using infrared to get to the charging dock, pair it up perfectly and start charging. And then just here on the side, we do have a side sensor, so that knows the distance away from the walls, so it can keep nice and close to them when it is cleaning, and that way the brush can get right up to the edge. Overall, the Dreame D9 does have a very good build quality to it, and very similar, as I mentioned a few times, to the Roborock S5 Max or the S50 or S55. And to briefly go over the application, so this one is called Xiaomi Home. You're probably familiar with it, right? So tapping on here, you need to then add the vacuum. So it's easy to find in the application. I've already got my air filter already set up from Xiaomi. If you're familiar with their Xiaomi ecosystem, you're probably already using this anyway. So once you get it all set up, add there, you will see it loads up the map. This is from the last clean. So I locked it in a room here because I'm shooting a lot of B-roll, and that was why I did this. Now the squiggly line is where the vacuum is gone, and I'll talk a little bit about how efficient it is, but it is very good. It cleaned the room in 15 minutes, which is not bad at all. Battery level is right here. We can save maps as well, reset the map. So you get 3 different maps so you can have, that it can remember. So you can have a basement, first floor, second floor. You get the idea with that, which is good. Cleaning modes down here. So that's to send it back to the dock to start the cleaning. Zoned mode, rooms, and right here, so you can allocate and set up a room as well. So you've got, for example, kids room 1, send it there to clean, and you can do that. So virtual walls can be set up. Different mopping no-go zones that you can set up. You don't want it to mop in a certain place, and you can change the adjust the vacuuming pressures as well. Well, the suction power, should I say, the performance. So you've got 4 different modes there, the highest being the loudest, 300 PA, which is great for carpets, of course. Very powerful for these types of vacuums. And then we do have advanced settings here, so schedules, cleaning history, firmware updates. It is all in there with this particular vacuum. It's a full-featured application. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you out there already know how these robot vacuums do clean, but I'll quickly just go over that, how the cleaning performance is of this one. So first off, it starts scanning and it maps out the whole room and all the obstacles like your tables, your chairs, whatever's on the floor too as well. And then it goes all around the outside of that. It will go around the outside of the tables, the chairs. Now tables and chairs, it will take a little bit longer to do this because it's quite hard for these vacuums just to go around them, but bit by bit it does it, and it gets in and around where it can. Now it may get what seems like stuck in some areas, but it eventually knows and works out how to back out of it, to turn and get out of that. Otherwise, if it really does get stuck, it will send you a message. It will advise you, and you could be at work or something and get that message, you go, oh no, it's stuck. But at least you know it's happened. So yes, a little bit of cleaning in the beginning is definitely needed. Don't leave USB cables in the way. You can see right here, the vacuum was struggling with this little test I did, having the air filter cable here in the way, and it got a little bit snagged up on that. Now eventually it probably would have been fine and broken free of that. However, it did suck up when I was cleaning down where my children's room is. A piece of a toy got stuck in there. This always seems to happen, and it was making a lot of noise, so I had to stop it and then remove it. Not too hard to do, but that's why you should maintain a little bit of cleanliness, because you can't just have socks and things lying around everywhere in say a teenager's bedroom and expect this to be able to go around and do everything fine. It'll eventually ride up some of those clothes and things and get jammed and stuck, so that's not great. But how does it clean? It does the hard floors, so the tiles in the house here, really good. Now, even though I have other vacuums cleaning and that they're on every day, it's still managed, as you look at the results from this dustbin, what it managed to collect from the house, incredible. So it still picks up a lot of hair, dust, all sorts of things. I mean, I have 2 children and a cat, and it's normal kind of just dirt and things that builds up. So they go in underneath beds, no problem too as well. That's one of the highlights with robot vacuums. And the laser ones, of course, they know exactly where they are. So it zigzags and covers everything. Very good coverage. And I noticed that it didn't really double over itself, only in certain areas. So great in that aspect, and quite quick too. The cleaning time too, of about 15 minutes for one of the main rooms that I do, seems about the same as other robot vacuums. Now, mopping mode. Now, the mop mode on this one Here's basically a microfiber cloth, and it just wipes it along the floor, not applying a huge amount of pressure. It doesn't also scrub. Now, if you go for really expensive models, and I mean ones that cost almost, well over double the price of this, like the D-Bot I have here. I've also reviewed this. This is the T8 AIVI. It has an oscillating brush on it that scrubs hard floors and does a much better job. So if you have a stubborn stain, or you have, say, someone spilt coffee, they didn't realize they spilt coffee, had been dried on there, this will remove, I would say, only 20% of that coffee mark, where this thing will go and get rid of a good 60-70% in one pass, or 50%, and in the second pass probably get rid of it completely because it scrubs the ground. But you need at least 2 or 3 passes in those more stubborn areas, and you can set that up with the application as well. So the mopping's not amazing. It's one area of criticism that's never going to be that great, but look at the price of this vacuum. But overall, when you look at the mop, you see a lot of, well, dirtiness on there. Even though I mopped the floor myself about 2 days ago, it still picked up a lot in a busy household. So the other vacuum I have here too as well, which is the Roborock S5 Max. This is cleaning about the same, if not better, and that's a more expensive model. So that's again where I say the value for money you're getting with this model here from Xiaomi, well, from Dreame with the D9, really, really good. And just how loud is it too? So let's touch on that. That's the normal standard cleaning mode. It's not that bad at all. However, when you put it onto the high mode, or when it automatically detects the carpets, if you enable that feature in the application, that is, it then ramps up to the 3000 PA, which is more powerful than this one, twice the power. This is only 1500 PA, and this one's 2200, I believe, just off the top of my head. It then hits a rather high, about 60 to 59 or so decibels. But here's a sample, first on the low mode, and then the high, loudest setting. This is a very good vacuum. The application fully featured, the runtime up to 2.5 hours on the standard setting, that is, and a good coverage of around 250 meters squared as well is great. It will then go back, if it runs out of battery, go back, charge, and then finish off the job if the map has already been saved, which normally it is. And you've got, of course, different maps you can save. You can customize virtual walls, set different zones, different areas. You can set it to go and clean just certain bedrooms after you set your map up from the first initial scan. But the criticism is the spot clean mode from me. It needs at least 2 goes. If you do a spot clean and you just have it to go over the area once, I always find it leaves behind little bits and pieces. So that's one area where it's not brilliant, okay? However, overall, fantastic value for money. The price it sells for, so this is about half the price of this one, and well, a good 100 and 150 or so cheaper than the Roborock S5 Max. And it really cleans the same, if not better than this model. So it does come recommended from me. And thank you so much for watching my review here of the Dreame D9 laser mapping robot vacuum.